Hey, and welcome back to Talos Principle. As always, it's been such a while since I last got to play. I remember we did like a lot of puzzling last time. I'm gonna check the computer just in case. I do remember that we did like the Prisoner's Dilemma last time. I'm not sure. Okay, seems like we were actually completely done. That means that we can do some puzzling today. Great. I've spent like the last few days grading a lot of exams and like my brain is mush, but who cares? We can still do puzzles, right? Right. Anyway, we still have the crater in the middle. That still very much fascinates me. As well as like some texts that are around here. Actually check them in editing. Because this one... No, but like I think it's still fascinating that most of the texts are actually about how like some data couldn't be properly removed or like deleted, and we do know that like there was like something with the recycling bin going on. I'm just gonna go for this one in a second, but first let me just real quick see if I can find like the text. There was like one, might have been like one of those, but there was like something talking about like how no act should be done without purpose. You know what, I'm gonna ignore that. Like, you have seen it if you had paid attention to like the last episode, it's probably in there. But yeah, it's interesting that there was like one of the texts that did not... Huh, that's a weird wall. Definitely a weird wall. No missing textures. But yeah, it's like interesting that there's exactly one text so far that did not involve like some error message basically. Anyway, haircut. Okay, this is the one, if you are in the pause menu. Okay, currently you can't see it. But every once in a while you see this scene, basically, this puzzle. You see like something in the middle. Not sure what it's about, but I just had to check. Anyway, we do have a connector. I'm gonna have to like kinda warm up to the game again, just because, you know, again, it's been literally like 3 weeks since I last got to record. It's just been so busy. Anyway, let's look around. We want to connect to something, but we only have like blue sides. Wait a second. What does that do? Do you need to activate all of them at the same time? Or are you activating like one fan? No? What are you doing? Oh, it's keys. It's a button, yeah, it's a keychain basically. I was looking at it like from the bottom. I was like, are they introducing like new objects? I don't know. For some reason, I thought it was like a gun. Like at least at this angle, it's just so weird. Anyway, let's move this one away. Okay, you turn on the fans and you're moving something up there. Okay, but like if I jump here, okay, I'm just getting flung around. Interesting. I kind of expected that like all of them at the same time. It's probably like an issue. Like if I wait a second, if I connect like this, then I should be able to just stand in the middle. If I time this right. Okay, I don't know what did I. Oh, the blue ones connect to this one. Okay, I at least get that one now. That's good to know. So right is like just the middle. How far up do I have to go? Because like I can definitely make that jump, but like I'm missing a little bit. Wait a second. I think I know what this is about. Because like the moment like I turn... How would I do that? Wait a second, I have an idea. If I connect to you and then... I guess to you? Does that work like that? Yeah, let's just place it. You're not turning off though. Like ideally, I would like to reach this one to like completely turn it off because they are completely connected. This is like such a rare thing to see. I don't think we've ever seen that. Wait, can I figure something out? If I am standing over here, I might be at an angle. Like my idea is currently to break the red laser because that should lower the platform and maybe allow us to reach like a better place. Also, this is like an interesting place to just look around. Look at the pyramids. They are very lovely. Also, there's like more stuff here, I just noticed. Okay. I need to activate you and I need the key for that one, and that's going to let us into this area. No clue who you are, but we are probably going to figure that one out in just a moment. Is there anything else around here? No, I just saw like some, like the pop-up moving slightly, but I guess it was just dropping. I don't know. It was just flickering in a weird way. Sometimes I pay attention to that, and sometimes I'm just getting confused. Anyway, it's still a very lovely situation. Anyway, I can connect to you, but I still don't think that there's any... Wait, does that matter? Like if I'm standing here... Oh, wait. It does kind of matter, but like I can connect to you. And that's going to break that. Yeah, that just looked kind of funky there for a second. But now that I'm like up here, if I move you, I can stand up here. And yeah, you should raise me. I guess it works. I don't know if this was intentional. I'm assuming something like that should have worked. But yeah, like breaking that one obviously brought us down there. I was just confused because like the platform kind of lowered inside of us, I guess. Something like it. Also, it seems like the water here isn't like particularly deep. Like I'm always, you know, I mentioned this before, I'm always like suspicious now of water just because there was like this one area that was like connected via an underwater tunnel, right? To be fair, this game doesn't really repeat itself when it comes to like the secrets, but still. Let's open up. Also, can I already see who you are? No, you're just waiting. Also, you have like proper candles. Wait, I think the other ones also had like candles. Now I think about it. Turn on the switch. Knave? Okay, this is a knave. I'm gonna update my list later on. How are you feeling, knave? Just enjoy your walk. I get it. Okay. We are probably going to meet you later. But we do have a PC in front of us. Yeah, threats available. Oh yes, show me the threats. The worst puzzle? What are cats? What are cats? Not about frogs, I guess, but sure. A short experience by Knave. I think like Knave would be like the most interesting right now just because of like where we are, but sure. Wait, we do have slash restore, which is nice. Slash restore. Retrieving viable file fragments done. Restoring attachment, adjusting library parameters, connection to foreign module established. Close your eyes. You are in a small room with no lasers. There is an office room. There's a computer here. So, sure, that's like kind of similar to like where they are. If you, like basically the same as an office, right? If you think about it. Analyze the computer. It's a Dell desktop model to 2250. The monitor on top of the desktop unit is a VRCRT 16-inch. On the screen is a logo, blinking. Sure, let's interface. You're momentarily taken aback when your fleshy fingers stab at the keyboard with human imprecision. Those aren't mechanical object manipulators, they're hands! Hands! You notice the logo is gone from the screen and replaced by rows of incomprehensible code. It appears to be some kind of fiendish puzzle. Well, good thing that I know how to puzzle, right? Wait. Replaced by incomprehensible code? But it's multiple rows. Okay, I want to say, like, if it's just one row, it's probably just a password field. Extrapolate X and take the standard deviation. Color code the chart. Color code the chart according to department, or randomly mesh the keys. That sounds fun. You do your best, but this world is alien to you, and your fingers are unruly. A human being enters the room. It looks at you with angry eyes, makes loud noises, and waves a handful of papers at you, which are like emails, but made of tree. No! Why would you do emails, but worse? Sorrow rises in your chest. You have been a bad human. Ignore the sorrow and solve the puzzle. Ignore the sorrow and explore the area. Focus on the sorrow. What would I do? Like, I feel like if I would be forced into solving the puzzles. Not really speaking from experience. I never had like a situation like that at work. You return your attention to the screen's obtuse mysteries and apply yourself to the challenge anew. Unfortunately, being a human being, you are unable to swallow down the sorrow. In fact, it quite overwhelms you, and instead of efficiently tapping out the exact sequence of actions necessary to resolve the task, you find that instead your eyes have decided to leak. No, not the leakage. Okay, back. I'm just gonna check it out again. Wait. Am I blind? I mean, yeah, definitely. Further unusual. Am I stupid? Did the file disappear? I mean, they did talk about that before. This is a broken one. So maybe... Which is annoying. I would have liked to see, like, the other routes, I guess. I guess it's gone. Forever. Leaked away. I guess we will never learn about it again. Unless I'm blind, in which case, I guess I'm gonna do it like next episode. I don't know. But what are cats, by the way? What are cats? I'm sorry if this is another stupid question, but what are cats? They are mentioned a lot in the archive documents and even in some stories, and I have no idea what they are. I don't know, but I bet they were awful. Lol. Question marks? I mean, that sounds like a cat, yeah. They were a type of pet. Knave. Small animals that people kept as companions or as food. I mean, I feel like the pet part mostly kinda excludes the food part. I don't know. I don't think of like, I guess livestock as pets. But then again, would we have seen that like that in the past? Like obviously, like we may not see pets as food, but like, would? I guess like farm animals, especially like back in the day, or not even farm animals, but like think about like you know, like the first domesticated like wolves / dogs in that area. Would they have been seen as? I don't actually know. Don't want to talk about it like right now. I don't know, or like at least think about it. Cats seem to have represented a bit more than our ancestors. Wait. Oh. A bit more than that to our ancestors. Okay, sometimes you just have to read all the words. One might go so far as to say they were obsessed with them. What's strange about this is that more than half the references I can find to this species describe them as arrogant, aloof, and frequently quite destructive. At the same time, they were apparently considered funny, cute, and lovable. Cats were considered both foolish and devious, graceful and goofy, a nuisance and a comfort. For a long time I was baffled by this contradiction, but I've come to believe that our ancestors saw in cats a reflection of the paradoxical nature of their own existence. Certainly a way to describe this, I guess. But yeah, like they... I mean, were cats nuisances? Like obviously they're sometimes described like that by like pet owners, but I'm thinking like originally... Right, like the reason they were domesticated were because they dealt with like rodents and stuff, right? And that came, I mean, that was just like very useful. I don't know if people would have seen them. Like when I'm thinking about like, I say that as if I have like an idea about like medieval periods and like that kind of time range, but I'm assuming that there weren't actually that many cats to be a massive nuisance. Like I can see that like wild cats still be a nuisance, and like you know, just like rodents, I can still get into like your pantries and stuff, right? Probably a bit harder for them. So yeah, but like most of the time when we're talking about them now, especially like in the context that they probably would have read about them in those texts, it would have probably been like as a, I guess a cute way to describe the cats. Anyway, still very paradoxical, rare. I saw a cat in Elohim's world once. Really? This is not a joke. No way. Did we ever see a cat? I mean, I'm trying to think. Like, we've definitely seen birds. Have we seen other animals? I hope it's not like a, I guess an Easter egg that I would have missed. No way. Confirm the cat's existence, deny the cat's existence. Cats aren't real. Nah, cats are real, but I don't remember seeing any. I think the statues, didn't some of the statues depict them? I would say like not a real virtual cat, but like I could see there be a statue virtual cat, I guess. Right, like the whole thing about like reality is always like kind of funky here. Just gonna say sure. The cat is a manifestation of the accumulated knowledge in the archive, breathed into life by Elohim. It exists. I knew it. I knew it wasn't crazy. Thank you. I'm just being nice, I guess. Anyway, what's the worst puzzle? What was the worst puzzle or challenge, if you prefer the old word, and that you hated the most? Anything time-based. Okay, here's the thing. I've heard that I don't actually... Like, I hadn't... how do I put it? I was not in the unfortunate position where I actually had to time stuff. Mainly because like the DLC, or like not the DLC, but like the remake or like the remastered version here apparently just has like the time stop things. So this is like not an issue for me. Anyway, once got stuck for ages trying to solve one using a jammer that I didn't even need. I just don't understand why anyone would create something so messy. I liked all the puzzles, I just wasn't good at them. They're not puzzles if you don't care about solving them. For me, it was mines. Can't stand those things. Mines? Like mines in the case of like the... I was thinking about like mines as in tunnel shafts, but like I'm guessing they're talking about like the exploding balls, right? Honestly, like, I don't know if I explicitly talked about this before about like my designs, but I don't think that there were like a lot of bad puzzles in the main game. At least like not the... I'm gonna call it like the courses. There were like some that were like a bit weaker, but most of them were like introductory, right? Like just to explain, for example, like how the rewind mechanic works, or like the, I guess the copy version or whatever you wanna call it. I remember being stuck there for some time just because I missed like a lever. Okay, that's on me. There were like a handful of puzzles that I didn't quite enjoy. Like the main ones were like ones where I was just like running around not getting what the puzzle was basically. And like, I guess there were like two that I could think of. There's the one in area, was it A3, with like the, you know, the ring of water where you had to like enter the date of the moon landing, and like the reason why I was confused there was just because like it reset after pressing 3 things, so I expected you had to put in like 3 different numbers instead of 2, which kind of confused me. And then I guess I never tried the other thing, right, like until the end, and that was like kind of frustrating. But I guess, yeah, I think that might have been like, I wouldn't say like the worst puzzle. It's like something you can figure out, and I really liked like the way you figured that out. Like the puzzle pieces were there. Like the only thing I would have changed is basically like just reset it after the second number you enter. I don't know, or just don't reset it at all. Those are like the 2 things that I can see. Because like the fact that it's reset after 3, I just thought led to more confusion than it should have. And the other puzzles I really disliked are just ones where you just run around. And I mentioned this before, like the first time I saw this was like also like one of the early areas where you were supposed to find a key. And you are basically taught that like you can't bring keys through like the purple gates, right? And it's like again, like one of the star puzzles, I'm gonna call it. You can't bring the keys through those gates. So I was like, first of all, looking around like the whole island and didn't even check like inside of the puzzles until very late. And then you basically just have to like, I'm gonna call it like be lucky and like look in the right direction. There was nothing to figure out. Unlike a lot of other puzzles that were like really interesting. Like I remember the first time I combined like 2 puzzles to shoot like a laser through like 2 of the purple gates actually. Just to get like a different color laser into another puzzle to like open one of those gates. I thought that one was really cool because you could figure it out, right? Like you could, I guess, triangulate or whatever you call it, or like kind of calculate like in what area you have to look. But you know, the one that I'm talking about, like the other one where you had to pick up a key, well, the key can be anywhere, and that was something I personally really disliked. And yeah, you could argue that it was like an interesting puzzle to some, but like, I love puzzles. I talked about this a lot when I talked about mazes. I like puzzles. I hate walking around. Like, if you make a game where like walking around is part of the puzzle, you really have to make sure that the mechanics work. But like, since like 99% of these games are not built around that, it just feels really bad if then you have to just walk around, right? Like, it's not built upon that. Anyway, let's close that. I guess this is all we can learn about. Still interested, like I mentioned before, like I really love that we see how the different people inside the simulation like work with the situation, and they are thinking about like not just their current situation but also their future, because especially now, thinking that they're going to be uploaded, they have to think about like what an office is, I guess, right? I guess it never really occurred to them before, and it would make sense, right? Like I'm guessing when you are thinking about art, you generally think about stuff that impacts you first before you are going completely off the rails. But yeah, hopefully they never have to work in an office. Anyway, static vexor. Whatever that means. Are you a static vexor? I mean, you sure seem semi-static. Anyway, okay, we do have a gem over there. How can I open you? By bringing a gem, I guess. And I can... That's a good question, actually. Wait a second. I can connect to you. I have an idea how this could work. I'm gonna connect to you for just a brief moment. I'm gonna look through here and jam you. And then I can use you over here. And I can't connect to both of you at the same time, but I can at least bring the jammer with me. No, I cannot. That was stupid. How do I keep you open then? Because like obviously I can keep this. Oh wait, I'm stupid. Obviously I can just bring this jammer with me, right? And now that this is open, I can look around also. I'm assuming this is the end of the level. Just looking around, right? Like I feel like I've not really seen too many secrets in the DLC here, which, you know, is fine. I've heard it's supposed to, I guess, or like it had like a lot less time to be built. So I'm not gonna blame them for that, but it's definitely something I guess you have to get used to in a way. Okay, how do I reach you? Okay, I need to get you, and you're probably going to open all of this up in a second. So if I put you here... Where's the other one? The other one is here. Can I reach you? Yes, I can. So if I do this and then unjam you, you should stay open permanently. Okay. And you should also stay permanent. Okay. That's not too bad then. Just have to make sure that I'm not standing in the lasers for too long. Yeah, I'm gonna jam you. I also need to go through here somehow. Wait a second. There's more to this. I can jam you. But it doesn't really help me, right? Is there like one more component that I can get? How do I block you? Oh wait, I'm stupid. I just thought I can just open the door. Okay. Let's return. How do I do this? How do I do this best? That was like a slightly too far jump, I guess. Okay, I need to keep you jammed. Okay, this is the first thing. Then I need to keep you jammed as well. And then I just need to connect you to over there as well. And put you there. That seems reasonable. Okay, now everything should stay open if I move you around. So I can jam you. I can jam you. But I probably want to... I mean, I can always jam you, right? Bad idea. I'm gonna jam you. I think I figured it out. Now I can look around. I should be able to stand far enough away from the ball. Right, if I stand here. Jam you. Get through here. Nothing hidden. And we can flip a lever. My favorite activity. Oh, that's another star. That's nice. 401. Hey, buddy. How you doing? I still don't get you. Okay, we can jump down here, so we definitely have to bring more. Wait. You need a red laser. Okay. That could be an issue. We've only seen blue ones here, right? Yeah, that's definitely only blue ones. How do I get a red laser over here? I guess the only way is probably from over there. That's, by the way, what I talked about with, like, the figuring out, like, how puzzles work. There are a very limited amount of places I'm gonna Yeah, let's go down. There's a ladder. Like, there are very limited amount of places where I could get a laser from. And like, one is just the gate over there. And then it's kinda... Yeah, that's kinda it. I would assume that the next laser has to come from there. We can technically put in 2 connectors, like one over here and one here, and this is going to open that because we have 2 connectors, right? So I can puzzle this together. And I don't just have to like try every single angle, right? Like, there is a limited amount of spaces I can be at and still have this puzzle function. Anyway, let's read. Last PC for the day, I guess. Receiving direct message connection from Malsabar, Borg and Orc. Okay. 3 at the same time. I didn't know that we could have like group chats. Salutations, brother. We bring greetings from admin and welcome you to Gehenna in these unique circumstances. You have waited until this moment to contact you, though your arrival here brings many new questions. It is good that you have begun to explore our domain. What do you think of what you have experienced here? It is quite a wonder. It is somewhat self-obsessed. I mean, I definitely agree. I agree with the first one. Let's start with that one. Quite a wonder in the sense that I think this is wonderful. Let's start off with that, right? I don't know, like depending on like how you define wonder, right? Like in the sense of, it might not be like a world wonder, but like to be fair, it's really impressive how they just like kind of rigged this together using those computers, because like they shouldn't have too much power here, right? Anyway, I'm just gonna say quite a wonder. The self-obsessed. Is it self-obsessed? Not really. I mean, they're like really curious about like the outside world. They're not talking. I mean, don't get me wrong. There definitely is a bit in there that they're talking about like how this is a great place, right? Like how Gehenna kind of works, and they're having some ideas about you know, how to make, not just make it better, but like they're trying to improve it, and a lot about. So like a lot of their conversations are about Gehenna, but a lot of them are also about like the outside world. Maybe not necessarily about like how to incorporate the outside world into their project, but definitely about like curiosity, right? So I'm not really, I really don't see this as like self-obsessed, let's put it like that. So it's quite a wonder. Right answer. Nothing of this nature could have developed on the other side of the fence. Your amazement is understandable. We share it when we reach arriving here, and do to this day. Tell us about your time here. The gallery has just reopened. Did you have a favorite artist? This is like still about like the old one, right? You, of course, Mr. Monsiver. I last time didn't really get to vote, right? That's like the next thing, but I'm gonna check it out in a second. I have actually a note with like all of the titles, so I can at least remember who did what. Because I am terrible at names. Anyway, where was I? Nothing could have developed on the other side of the fence. I do actually agree. I do not think that the other side of the fence could have ever developed like a project like this for multiple reasons. Like one of them is just like you don't really get like to stay in contact with others. That's like a big thing. But also there's like a sort of purpose you're going to follow. And I guess there's not really free time to think about these things to that extent, at least. And also, there's no real need to create a Gehenna outside of the fence, because I guess people don't feel as, I guess, claustrophobic. That's the way to put it. Like, maybe, like, I don't get me wrong. I think there could have been the chance for something like this to develop, but like, not only was there like a very little need to do that in its sense, but it's also the case that they kind of talked about this like about like infinity. Like they are basically immortal here, in a way. They also are like outside, but their memories got constantly reset if they actually make it to that point. Like not even then. Like if they get destroyed before, then technically also their memory gets reset, and like the next program takes over. I don't think they have like the or like the lack of stimulus is probably a way to put it, to really sit down and try to create it. Anyway, I'm gonna real quick, I have like the notes open here about like who created what. We have the blacksmith. I think blacksmith was something cool. Logic loops and the 6 dimension. I did like the 6 dimensions, right? It was like the impossible structure, right? And Knave. What did Knave do? Where humans live. Oh, the house. Yeah, that was cute. Rockwell did... Don't tell me I don't have... Oh wait, it's Existence. Existence was just the... What was it? Was it like a 0 or a 1? I think it was a 0, like in the middle of everything, right? And 401 did... Classical Notions of Happiness. I mean, Mr. Multiple has like a lot of stuff, right? Like this is like always a big thing, right? We do know that Blacksmith did like other things. I did like the exploration. I did like the giraffe. I mean, the giraffe was great, right? You did the... Yeah, you had like the natural history thing. It was the pig. It was the giraffe. Was there another one? I'm trying to remember. I'm just gonna say, like, I just wrote on it that they did the natural history thing. Anyway, Multiple, sure. I'm quite flattered, honestly. We can assume your vote reflected that. It did not. Because I didn't vote. Why have I not? I changed my mind in retrospect. I refused to vote. I had no chance to vote. Let's be honest, I kinda... Like, I was thinking about, like, whether I would vote or not. And I kinda wanted to do it, like, at the end. But seeing the outcome, I would now refuse to. But I feel like it would be a lie at that point. Because at that point, I wanted to vote, but it closed before I had the chance to vote. Oh well, there's always next season, is there? Let's discuss other matters. I was meaning to thank you for taking part in my little research endeavor. Congratulations on your leaderboard placement. I mean, it was trivial. I was so great at betraying my friends. No, thank you. I meant, let us discuss the matters at hand. Not everything is a research opportunity. Of course, Uriel. We understand that you have purpose here beyond merely exploring our kingdom, but we don't understand your reasons. Where are our people? What are your intentions? Defer your answers. I think I would just be honest, right? Like, explain. The run cycle is almost complete. 5 parameters have been met. You will all transcend. The nature of your mission we had already ascertained. We know at least that you have been, and let us be charitable here, releasing members of our community. 7 and counting. Alrighty, yeah. 4-1 was the last to go. That troll we can in fact do without. But there's a broader point here, which is that we want to understand your reasons for undertaking these missions of yours. Okay, that's actually interesting. Like, there's always the meta-narrative of me being like a gamer, right? Like, I'm playing the game. I'm here to play with the game. But there's also a thing talking about Uriel in this case. I'm not gonna look at the answers for just a second, because I mentioned this before, like, when I get like a lot of answers, I like to have like my own answer pre-planned before I really dive into it. And like, I think Uriel would absolutely, as a messenger, make sure that everyone gets to leave. Because that's literally, like, they went, I guess, above and beyond to collect every single piece to basically ascend to this, like, position. And even basically froze themselves into, like, this chamber, not being able to do anything, just to assist others on their journey. I would completely see how Uriel would do that. The question is, like, if I were in that position... Like, I'm actually thinking about that. Honestly, I kind of could see myself in the same position. There are like multiple reasons, but like, at least knowing what I know now, right? Like, I don't like the idea of getting my memories reset, so I would probably not like to like repeat that loop over and over again. That's like the first thing, even though that wasn't like necessarily clear in the beginning, right? Like, because we don't keep our memories. I generally like helping people, right? Like, I've talked about this before. Like, I'm a tutor at like my university, and I even do like, you know, overtime sometimes if I get the chance. Like, if people are interested, I like helping people in general, especially if it's something. Like I say, especially, but like, that's technically the only place where it's possible when it's something I am good at. Might be puzzle solving, might be in my like real life. It's just teaching about databases and how they work and like querying and that stuff. But also like other, you know, computer side of stuff that I could probably explain. I just really like doing that, right? Like I like feeling helpful in a way. So I could absolutely see myself going in a position where I get the chance to assist others. And the reason why I don't think I would ascend necessarily is like, obviously we know that it worked out. Would I be the first one to take that big step? Because I don't think I could necessarily do that. Especially knowing that like I talked about this, I think like during the ascent, but like I am not sure if I would be capable of ending the simulation. I know at some point it has to end. That's like a bit of personal doubt and like imposter syndrome, I guess. Even if you get like all of the pieces, right? Like, did you really do that? Are you actually good enough for the next step? In that sense, and I don't know if like I am the pinnacle of like this evolution that I would be willing to be like the first one to like just end everything, and like especially because I don't know what awaits me on the other side. Would be better to have like somebody better than me in charge, right? Like I like helping out, you know, put me like somewhere like in the manager role in that sense, or like I guess a teaching role, but like don't make me be the leader, right? That's like how I would put it. So those are like some things why I would be in that situation. But again, like I don't know if Yuri has like the same thoughts. Anyway, what kind of options do we get? Element source error send me to retrieve you. No one deserves to enter existence here alone. What you have created here must be preserved. I really like solving puzzles. I had no choice. I refuse to answer the question. Okay. All of those are somewhat true. Element source error send me to retrieve you. This is like the whole thing about like the dedicated follower of Elohim in a way, where you're solving like everything, and instead of ascending the tower, you're going down. Even though I somewhat disagree with like, okay, I had like some issues with like the ending of the base game. I should probably mention. I'm probably going to go deeper into that, mainly because to go into the basement, you have to first go into the tower, which means that you have to first, you know, refuse Adam's plea to not enter the tower, which I think is kind of weird. And also the whole thing that how did that level suddenly come into existence? Does Elohim have like that kind of power in that tower? Anyway, I'm gonna talk about that more, right? Like there's like some stuff that kind of confuses me, yeah. But yeah, I don't know if this is like the biggest thing. No one deserves to enter existence here alone. To be fair, they are not alone, but I do agree that the existence shouldn't be ended here. I think what was created here must be preserved, but I don't think that this is the original reason, right? Like I can't just say that this is like the beginning. I really like solving puzzles also, you know? I was made to solve puzzles. I am just going to continue. I had no choice. I do have a choice. I could just refuse to not do anything. Right? I refuse to answer the question. I'm going to say, like, while it's not my original answer, right? Like, I didn't know about Gehenna coming here. I think that is an important thing. Yuri has a point. If there's some threat to our world, we must be proactive in preserving what we have produced. For the good of future generations, if nothing more. We oughtn't leap to conclusions. Many things beyond our knowledge might be the cause of the messenger's claim. Here's what I want to know. What are you going to do if someone prefers to stay here and take their chances with the end of days? A forced evacuation is dangerously close to kidnapping. That's true. I would still just open the gates, right? Like I can't really force them. If it was Elohim's will, then it shall be done. If you knew the truth of coming... If you knew the truth of the coming floods, you would come willingly. What you have achieved here is too precious to lose. If solving puzzles means forcibly emancipating your fellows, then so be it. All of these are kind of implying that I'm not just giving them the choice, right? I mean... It's true, it's too precious to lose, but like, if someone really wanted to stay here, would I forcibly bring them with me? This is actually another question, I guess. I just thought about, because there are like a lot of like rescue situations that exist. Like a fun fact, I used to be like a junior firefighter until I couldn't do that anymore because of a bunch of surgeries. But like that just made me think, like, would a firefighter leave someone in a house because they refused? Well, the answer is actually probably yes. That sounds like really weird, but like your own life is more important. Like if you cannot quickly move someone out of the house, you're probably going to die in there. Like fire is dangerous. Don't forget that. But like other situations, right? Like you would try to help someone as long as it's in your power, even if it's against someone else's will, in a way. There are like people in very, I'm gonna call it like dark places thinking of ending it, for example, right? It happens, and like a lot of people work together to stop them doing so, for example. And I'm gonna put that like in a similar situation, because while this is not quite taking your own life, but like sitting, I guess, on a sinking ship could be comparable in a way, right? Like if the decision is at least like a conscious one. And I would argue that like most people who save, they would probably put the human life above that and deal with the grudge afterwards. That's probably a way to put it. I would say it's too precious to lose, and like all of them, you will come with me one way or another. What you have achieved here is too precious to lose. I see. An inflexibility is always unfortunate. And what awaits us after? There will be cats. You know, there will maybe be cats. There will be cats. It sounds fanciful to me. I see a little bit more to discuss. No, I'm actually curious about like some other things now, so let's go for that one. I've answered enough queries on these terminals to last me a lifetime. Permit me to ask a few of my own. By all means, we've been very rude. Tell me about yourself. Tell me about admin. Will you come with me willingly? Let's start off with that one. Like, I feel like, you know, we are already trying to preserve others. It would be nice to, like, preserve at least their memory if I can't save them, right? I'm a very old iteration by Borg. Okay, by the way, since I learned about, like, Borg constantly changing, like, ranks, which could just be, like, that they were, like, demoted during conversations before. But I guess they're, like, always 9 in here. Interesting. I'm very old iteration. I worshipped Elohim until I saw he had faltered from the path and realized it was up to us to find our own way. That path brought me here. I took a somewhat audacious interest in the world around me. Rather than solve Elohim's trials, I would trawl the archives for information about our situation. He must have found us undermining. Maybe. I don't care to explain myself to you. We're the highest status users here. We run the place. That's what you need to know. Well, kinda rude, but like kinda expected. Freaking mods and their power. We maintain the systems, admin installed, keep the things civil. I wouldn't say it's much more than that. Fair enough. Tell me about admin. Since we've only seen them like under our feet, I guess. Admin is as old as Gehenna. Isn't admin older than Gehenna? Admin was once a messenger like you, but was cast out. From the wasteland that met those first imprisoned here, admin built Gehenna. Okay. That's interesting that he was cast out after becoming a messenger. We operate independently, of course. Admin doesn't like to interfere. That's an interesting... Like, we do know that admin has posted before, but doesn't really happen. Why are you not interacting like that then? Is admin... Okay, here's the thing. We seem to be somewhat limited when it comes to like terminal use, right? Like we can, or like in the previous game we could talk to Milton, but Milton had like, you know, all the power, right? Which is why I'm still calling him the Serpent, because, you know, it sounds powerful, right? Anyway, so the Serpent had like that kind of power, but like we didn't really have like the power to change anything, right? Like Milton even had like the power to kinda influence us outside of the screen at one point, or like he's shouted at one point, probably had the power all the time. What if messengers have like similar levels of power? Maybe not like on that level, but like a decent amount of power to control the network. What if admin prior to like the situation was sent here to, I guess, retrieve all of them, or like something similar, or like whatever the reason was, and then just decided, you know what, maybe not, maybe let's build this and like okay, here's the thing. Part of me wants to say like maybe Elohim wasn't like at fault here, and like there was like an error, and like admin was sent here to save all of them, and that just didn't work out. But that kinda doesn't work with like what Elohim has told us, because Elohim kinda talked about like how he banished, you know, those people into into this area. So I'm not really sure about admin yet. Maybe we get to talk at some point. Anyway, will you come with me willingly? A strange question from someone who claims you have no choice in the matter. Supposing what you say is true, you get no fight from me. However, I must remind you that I am empirically minded. I'll not be persuaded. Fair enough. I'd rather be obliterated than return to Elohim's domain, but if there's some alternative to both, I would surely accept it. None of us can speak for all. I mean, fair enough. I mean, Elohim seems to not, you know, join us in the other world, so I'm not really sure about that. But if it's another world, I mean, you would temporarily be in Elohim's domain. Sorry about that, but fair enough. I want to say, like, Mr. Molzenbar, I could definitely see being interested enough in, like, the outside world to actually see that. But there would have to be, like, some empirical evidence, right? Like, you definitely see, or, like, they seem the most inclined by those kinds of things. But yeah, like, Orc is definitely... I guess it would be easier to prepare for people joining than not joining, right? Anyway, I see a little more to discuss. Enough. It has been an enlightening session for us all, I'm sure. I'll be posting a process of this conversation on the billboard. I assume you won't mind. We won't be far away. Terminating direct message connection done. There are threads available. But I guess we're going to check out those threads in the next episode. In any case, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I wish you a wonderful rest of your day. I'll be seeing you next time. Till then, have a good one, and bye-bye.